Welcome back. This time we're going to go over Amazon CloudWatch for machine learning. Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, and share with anyone you know taking the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam. So CloudWatch is a monitoring and observability service providing data and actionable insights for AWS services, applications, and infrastructure. In machine learning workflows, CloudWatch monitors SageMaker training and inference jobs, debugs Lambda functions in ML ops pipelines, creates alarms for data drift or model failure, and sends logs and metrics to Kinesis, OpenSearch, or S3 for deeper analytics. So CloudWatch metrics. Metrics are variables monitored over time using names like CPU utilization or network interference, or network in, sorry. Namespaces contain service-specific metrics like AWS for EC2, AWS for SageMaker. And these dimensions are metric attributes like instance ID, and granularity can default to certain intervals. Typically, I think it defaults to 5 minutes. With this, you can have detailed monitoring at extra cost to provide 1-minute granularity. Custom metrics can capture app-specific information like memory or GPU usage. For machine learning workloads, monitoring training job duration, CPU, GPU, or memory utilization, error rates are important. You can also stream metrics to Kinesis Data Firehose, routing to S3, OpenSearch, or Athena for visualizations or alerting. The default metrics are free. Detailed monitoring costs approximately 30 seconds per month per metric. Custom metrics cost 30 cents monthly per metric plus ingestion charges. So how do you view the metrics? So you'd be in the console, type CloudWatch. You'll see this, click it. And then click metrics, all metrics. And from here, you can start going by the actual resource type. All right. So you could choose like something like Bedrock, Firehose, Glue, Logs, etc. Okay. And you can select the metric type, like the CPU utilization, and then you can adjust down to the hour, the time spacing, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 month. And you can choose a visualization, line, data table, etc. Okay. And then optionally, you can add a dashboard, download it to CSV, or export it to Kinesis. All right. All right, CloudWatch logs. So log groups organize logs by application or component. Log streams are sequences from single sources like EC2s or Lambda functions. Lambdas track MLOps step failures or performance. SageMaker can provide training and inference logs. Glue and EMR can monitor data preparation steps. VPC flow logs can monitor traffic to model endpoints. And API gateway logs incoming inference requests. So in the console, you can set retention. Let's go back. Here, the little member, logs, log groups. All right, so in here, you can create a log group, you set retention, 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, etc., up to 10 years, okay? Or this is never expire, okay? And you can send your logs, standard or infrequent access for where you want to go with the KMS encryption to S3, open source, or Lambda for custom processing. Okay, then you have CloudWatch Logs Insights. All right, so Logs Insights is a query engine exporting or exploring CloudWatch logs using SQL-like syntax. You can filter it by message, timestamp, or custom fields. You can run real-time queries rather than continuous streaming. You can visualize outputs and add to dashboards, and you can save queries or use built-in templates like top 10 IPs in the VPC flow logs. All right, so it'll be here under logs, log insights. And you see how the log groups are here, excuse me. And you can choose a log group. Okay, well, we don't have any ones here. You can write a query, one of these log groups here. All right, and then you can write a query. Let me see, query generate. So this is saying fields, timestamp, message, log stream, log. Sort by timestamp, descending, limit 10,000. All right, and then you can adjust the time range, date range, run the query, save the results as a CSV file. Okay. Next, you have the CloudWatch Unified Agent. So the Unified Agent replaces old agents by collecting both metrics and logs from EC2s and on-prem VMs. It provides granular metrics, including memory, disk I/O, and process stats not collected by default EC2 monitoring. The agent sends logs and metrics together using centralized configuration via SSM parameter store. For AI workloads, monitor GPU utilization, disk pressure, or memory during SageMaker training. Use in on-prem hybrid machine learning setups, unifying monitoring into CloudWatch. Then you can attach IAM roles with CloudWatch and SSM permissions, install the agent via SSM or EC2 user data, and then you can configure this through Amazon CloudWatch Agent Config Wizard or upload config to SSM parameter store, and then start the agent service. That's a lot to say, right? But basically, you can have an agent on there to do certain automations. I cannot remember where it is. Unified. I think that would be under agent. Yeah, probably under here. So it'll be under systems manager probably, and then go through and then integrate with CloudWatch. All right, let's go into something a little more normie. CloudWatch alarms. So alarms track thresholds on metrics and trigger actions. These send SNS notifications like stop, terminate, reboot for EC2 instances, or they can trigger auto scaling. Alarm states include OK for normal operation, alarm when thresholds breach, and insufficient data when samples are inadequate. A standard alarm monitors one metric. Composite alarms combine multiple alarms with and/or logic. You can trigger alerts if SageMaker endpoint error rates exceed, let's say, 5%. And you can auto recover an EC2 used in data pre-processing pipelines. And at the same time, notify your team if the training time exceeds certain thresholds. So creating and metric filters, you're going to want to save this place. So for this, you need to trigger alarms when an error appears in logs. From here, go to CloudWatch, go to logs right here. All right, then quick log groups. And let's see, create metric filter. All right. So for here, enter the pattern, error. Sign, let's see, the count equals, well, we don't want to do a count. Let's say region equals US East 1. Okay. And then you can assign data to set. Here's a log events message. All right. Let's go through, name it, test metric. All right. Let's go there. Enter the metric namespace. Test metric, metric name. Let's just say test metric, metric value. Okay, so this would be, all right, so let's go back. Test the name metric namespace, all characters except for colon are valid except for colon. I'm sorry. All values are valid except for colon, asterisk, dollar, and space for the metric name. And then valid metrics are floating point number, numeric field, name field identifiers, or named field identifiers like, okay, like request size, delimiter fields like status, or JSON-based filter patterns like dollar, dollar dot. Okay, so there's an interesting one. I don't know how that pattern would match. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Valid metrics are floating point. Let's say 1. Okay, default value 0. When the pattern doesn't match, the unit seconds. All right, so this would be a test metric for a time series. All right, and then at this point, let's see, you can do the dimensions for this. And then we go to review. Let's see if that lets it go. All right, so filter pattern, error, AWS region, US1, test metric. Now we didn't set this on anything, but you can set an action once this is created to send an SNS notification if it hits the metric value, right? We're gonna hit cancel. All right. So testing. I don't think we wanted that one. Okay. So testing this. So you can simulate simulate alarm triggers using the CLI with a set alarm state command, specifying alarm name, state value like alarm, and a state reason. And so you can test an EC2 termination, an SNS alert, or a composite alarm behavior without waiting for real threshold breaches. Okay. So for the exam, remember this. Questions asking about monitoring SageMaker training jobs, debugging Lambda functions in machine learning pipelines, creating alerts for model performance degradation. Amazon CloudWatch provides the observability platform, collecting metrics and logs, enabling queries and analysis, and triggering automated responses, maintaining reliability across machine learning infrastructure and applications. So before we go, hit the like button, subscribe, share this with anyone you know taking the AWS Machine Learning Associate exam, and have a good day.